Hey people, before we jump into the love revolution, we want to talk to you about what our friends over at Target have been up to.
Target's commitment to HBCUs and to supporting Black creativity is definitely part of the love revolution.
You're right. Through their Black Beyond Measure campaign, Target is celebrating and elevating Black success all year round. They've got the HBCU Design Contest, the Buy Black Product Hub, their commitments. Target is out here uplifting the Black community.
If you want to learn more about how Target continues to support Black entrepreneurs, students, and creatives, visit target.com/Black Beyond Measure.
Welcome to the Amazing Clarks podcast on the Black Love Podcast Network. My name is Anthony Clark.
And I'm Melanie Clark.
And we are the Amazing Clarks. We're both award-winning certified life and love coaches and a husband and wife duo that have been coaching together for 22 years and that have been passionately in love for 30. They call us the Amazing Clarks because we empower people to live amazing lives.
Yes, we do. And you've joined us here on our Love Revolution, where we talk about ideas and concepts that help us to love each other and ourselves more, because we want to put more love into the universe, because boy, do we need it.
More love.
Yes, more love.
Gotta love that. And today we have a great topic. We're going to talk about couples working together.
Yes, we get a lot of questions about that.
That's right. Entrepreneurs, couples starting businesses together. Mm-hmm. Yes. Does it work? What can you do to make it better?
Yes.
What are the pitfalls? We're going to talk about it all. But before we jump into that, we got to catch up with the Clarks.
Yes.
So, baby, how's your week been?
I'm going to switch it up. How's your week been?
My week has been amazing because it's full of growth. Full of new experiences. One of the things that I've been doing is, and you've been doing it with me, we've been binging on these documentaries.
Oh, yeah, we have.
And boy, oh boy, we were binging on the one about the Playboy mansion.
Hugh Hefner.
We binged on Kanye West.
Yes.
His story. And then there's another one we binged
Bill
on.
Bill Cosby. Ooh, these men out here. Ooh, they was doing stuff behind our backs the whole time.
Yeah, we had some really good conversations, but my mind has been blown throughout this whole experience. It's like,
me too.
Wow. You know, one of them, I will say, Kanye was actually impressive.
Okay.
It made me, I've always respected the brother and I've always seen him as a very talented individual.
Right.
But there was some things, just like his personality, it was like, I'm not getting all the pieces here, so I must be missing something. And it did a great job explaining his story and why he is the way he is.
Yeah. Well, you know, we have to have compassion and empathy for people. And that documentary definitely helped me have more compassion for him and understand him. So that was a good one.
Yeah. And then
this is stuff that married couples do. You guys, not that exciting. We watch documentaries.
That's right.
and discuss them. Anthony and I watch documentaries and discuss.
That's right.
It's fun, though. I like doing that with you.
Yeah, we love that. We're doing it.
So we have had a good week of doing that. What has my week been? Just working out. Just trying to stay on a routine. I feel like this last week I struggled a little bit with just wanting to be lazy and not do very much.
You got to do that sometimes.
Yeah. So, but I always struggle with letting myself do it. There's always this internal struggle. So I did do a lot of resting, and I'm grateful for that.
Well, it's that voice in your head that says, you got to do more. You got to do more. No,
my ego, Mallory never wants to let me rest. She wants me to just go. But I wasn't feeling it. So I had to fill up my own cup so that I had enough to give to others, because I was feeling depleted. I've been really busy, so it's been good.
The perfect segue. So couples working together.
So what can we say about being in business together?
Well, for one, we get a lot of couples that, because of, life in general, a lot of them because it's been their passion, but a lot of them because they got to make ends meet. They just find themselves in a situation where it's like, we have to start a business together to bring in extra income. And then they jump into business and they realize that, you know what, building a relationship is challenging together, but then adding a business on top of that together can make it even 10 times more challenging.
Yeah.
And so how do you navigate through that? What are the challenges? So when we first started coaching, and that was actually our first business together, because we have multiple businesses. Because I started coaching first, it was like I was running with the template. And then you came in and you're going like, okay, how do I fit in this now?
Right.
That was the first time we started really running into challenges in our relationship, because there were things that we disagreed with, because I'm used to doing things a certain way, and then you're coming in going, no, I want to do it this way. And I'm like, but this way works. And you're going like, no, but I don't like that way. And it's like, no, but you got to do it this way. And then it becomes that tug of war. And then the tendency in relationships is for it to start getting personal.
Right.
Well, you do this because you always say that. Well, you always do. And then conflict.
Yeah, then it turns into an argument.
It turns into argument. Right. I think that that's what gets a lot of couples in trouble.
Yeah. Well, your personal stuff is going to come up because you're married to each other. So here's a great example. Like, you love ideas. So you'll ask me questions about things, and then you don't use my ideas. And I used to get so frustrated at that. I was like, stop asking me. You're wasting my time. You're wasting my brain power. You're having me think about all these things, and I'm giving you all my great ideas. And then you're like, yep. I just wanted to hear what you thought. I'm like, no, I have other things to do.
And that's the thing, too. It's like you have different approaches. So me asking you your perspective,
right,
the way my brain works, I like to look at all the options. It's like put everything out there, all the possibilities that maybe I didn't think about. And so you have a creative mind. So it's like, what do you think about this? And I'm looking for something that I might have missed.
Right.
And then when I do that, then I make my decisions.
Right.
Once I get all of the different possibilities. And then if I don't use yours, you will get your feelings hurt.
Yep. I still do.
And
sometimes.
It's like, why are you getting your feelings hurt? Because you wasted my thought. It's like, I'll come up with 100 of mine. And I may just use one. And it's like, don't take it personally. I'm just need more perspectives. And I respect your perspective. But if I don't choose it, that does not mean I think less of you. It's like, no, that's not the option. Okay, let me try another one.
Yeah.
Let me try another one.
Well, I've learned that, but it took me a long time to learn that because I'm sensitive. So it would hurt my feelings. But, I think it's really important when you're in business together to define your roles and to be really clear on what areas you don't go into with the other person.
Right.
And also, this is the hardest part when you're a couple. You have to decide like who actually has final say when it comes to business. Like, you have to choose who the leader of the business is. And for me, I found that really difficult because I don't like submitting. I don't like, if I don't agree, I don't want to have to be like, well, you get to have say so. So I just created an outlet for myself. I have my own business. So aside from our business together, so it makes it way easier for me to go, okay, you could have final say on that. If I want to do what I'm recommending, I'll just go over and do it in my own business, and I'll do it my own way, and I'll do it at my own pace, and I don't have to worry about you. That really helped calm me down because I really like when we're working, our masculine energy really spikes.
Oh, yeah.
And so that masculine energy comes to meetings and discussions, and it's like, I will fight you. I don't want to do it that way. I don't think that's right. But you started this brand, so you get final say. In my mind, you get final say.
Me personally, I don't feel like it's final say. I feel like there are going to be times when your ideas work. And like, I'll do that with you. And I'll be like, you'll come up with an idea. And I'll be like, I like that. Let's do it. And then what would happen in the past is like, you can come up with 20 ideas and I'll pick 3 that I like, or 5.
Right.
But then later on, if I don't pick one, it's like, you never pick my ideas. You never pick. And it's like, what are you talking about? I was just picking you. What? It's sometimes it's going to be mine. Sometimes it's going to be yours. And I don't care whose it is as long as we get there.
Yes.
As long as it gets the job done.
But that took us a long time to get to that point. And even now, we still cannot agree on different things when it comes to business. And that's okay.
And we've learned to back away and to pick and choose our battles.
Yes. Ooh, that's an important one.
Yeah, because there's some things like, let that go. That's no biggie. Whatever. Try it. And here's the other thing that makes it weird or challenging, I should say.
Right.
We each have our own internal guidance system.
Yes, we do.
And your internal guidance system is just like your fingerprint. It's unique. Mine is unique. No one ever had my internal guidance system. Nobody ever will. Nobody ever had yours. Nobody ever will. And your internal guidance system knows what's best for you.
Right.
And my internal guidance system knows what's best for me. When I follow my internal guidance system, which is how it's supposed to be, the key, people, is to learn to tap into your own internal guidance system because that has all the answers. That's your connection. And your job's to tap into yours. But when you're working together, what tends to happen is that my internal guidance system says to do it this way.
Right.
Your internal guidance system is telling you, no, don't do it that way, do it this way. And so then when you have to go against your own internal guidance system, that's if it's difficult.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Because there's a part who's like, no, my spirit's telling me to do it this way. It has to be. Why am I not listening? And I found that when I don't listen to my internal guidance system, the majority of times it goes bad.
Right.
So I've learned to really listen to mine. So when you have moments when yours is like, you're really strong about yours and I'm not feeling it, I pick and choose. Sometimes I'm like, you know what? No, I got to stick to this. Then other times it's like, no, she might be right. Try it.
Right.
Hope it works. And I also like that you did start your own business because a lot of challenges that we had in our business, and it sometimes because the perspective was that I had the last say, then it was like whatever challenge that was, it was like, see, this is the challenge because it's like you're doing it that way. And it was like, no, in general, it's going to be like that with any business. And then when you started your own business, you ran into those same issues again and realized like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay. All businesses run across these challenges. It wasn't a personal attack. But then you still had the ability to express yourself and do it your way, to follow your internal guidance system. And it worked.
Yes.
And it worked.
Yes.
And that's the point of it.
I think one of our biggest challenges from my perspective, what may not be your perspective, is our timing. And just how we filter the world, right? Like I'm very linear. I want checklists. I want deadlines. I want to be on time. I want to hit that deadline. Like I take all that very seriously. And you're more of flow. If you're not feeling it creatively, the deadline, you're like, we can move that deadline. And I'm more of like, no, we have to stick to the deadline. It has to be on time. We have to meet that deadline. And that's been a real struggle for us because we view that whole thing from totally different perspectives.
And even though it's been a challenge, it's actually been a blessing too. Because,
how so?
Because really it's about trading gifts. We balance each other. And, you know, sometimes because I'm so free flowing, a little more structure and deadlines, it actually benefits me. So you help me with that. And then there are times when you could need to be more free flowing and I help you with that. So it balances us. I think it's actually, in the long run, it works for us. As long as we are both able to be very conscious and very aware of each other's and respect each other.
Yes, I think that's really true. Again, that's where those roles come in, like knowing what your lane is and not crossing over into each other's lanes. Something else that's been really good for me, and you came up with it, is like sometimes when you're asking me things, you'll let me know, like I'm asking you from a consultant perspective. I'm asking you from a business partner perspective, not so much my wife right now in this moment, but straight business, like no emotional stuff in it. And being able to, when you ask me that way, it literally in my mind is like, oh, this is not about me and him. Oh, this is about business, or this is about he wants ideas, or he wants me to consult him on this idea. And that's really helpful to me.
Also for me, when we're working together, you tend to push me, actually.
What do you mean by that?
Certain ways that I probably wouldn't push myself.
Yes.
So I found that little voice in my head, I had to really control my ego.
Oh, I was going to say that too. I was like, the ego is going to come up, you guys.
Right. And the ego is ready to tell me like, oh, don't listen to her. She doesn't, how dare her? And I've learned that even if it pisses me off and I get upset, it actually stretches me because it helps me to think about different perspectives or contemplate different ways of doing things that I maybe normally wouldn't have. And so even through the pain, there's gain.
Building business together can be painful. Yeah. It really can be.
But it's also amazing.
Yes.
When we're building it together and things are going great.
Yeah.
And we're reaping the benefits of it when we're traveling the country and around the world, and we're working together and we're living this amazing life and we're making great money and we're changing lives and we get to be together.
And the freedom.
Yeah. And actually that was always our goal.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, we used to work, when I worked in the Department of Corrections, and you worked in the Department of Corrections too, and we had those split shifts.
Yep, and we couldn't see each other. We didn't have time for each other.
We'd only see each other like 2 days a week.
Yep.
And so we hated that. And we made the agreement that we're going to manifest a career where we can work together.
Yes.
And we want to be together all the time. And at the time, it was like, what career are we going to possibly do where we can work together like that? And once again, the law of attraction, you don't have to know all the exactly how it's going to play out. You just have to know what it is that you want.
Right.
And then the universe will reveal the rest to you. And that led us to our coaching practice. And for the last 23 years, almost now, we've been living that manifestation.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing.
Can we take a minute to talk about joy?
We can always take a minute to talk about joy.
Well, something that brought me joy this week was my weekly Target run. I was able to shop Black-owned and founded brands to get everything we needed for our place. Target celebrates Black success through its Black Beyond Measure campaign, which goes all year round. You know we gotta love our fellow Black entrepreneurs.
Ah, that explains the new candles.
And your new favorite coffee.
Coffee does bring joy.
I love making sure we are surrounded by joy every day. If you want to surround yourself with a little joy and help uplift Black creatives, visit target.com/Black Beyond Measure to learn more. I'm glad that you brought up that your ego comes into play, because my ego comes into play too. And it's like, do it faster, get him to hit that deadline, stay on track, stay on point. And I have to manage that with you too, because I just know you told me one time, like when I move too fast for you, like if I walk too fast, that it just throws you off your game, throws you off your balance. And so I take that into consideration with working with you too. Like I have to adjust my energy to where your energy is. And I'm sure you have to adjust your energy to where my energy is. And we can kind of meet in the middle. But sometimes my ego just gets so irritated that I'm not hitting the goals that I want to hit because you're not ready or your part isn't done or whatever the case may be. So I'll tell you, if you're going to work with somebody that you love, you're going to have to do a lot of ego work, because your ego energy is going to really show up in how you work and what fulfills you. And when there's another person involved that you love, that can kind of spill over and create some problems, some fights. Yeah. We used to fight a lot about business.
If you have a 9 to 5, you know what I'm saying, you work, and if you don't like what's going on, it's like, all right, screw it. I'm going home.
Yeah.
And then, you got your relationship. But if you're a couple that work together, that drama at work goes over into your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't go away. So that can be really challenging. And then if the business isn't performing well, once again, that's going to affect the relationship again.
Well, it affects your money and affects your livelihood. And so you literally have to keep coming back together and trying to get back on the same page. And you fall off.
And you got to keep forgiving each other.
Yes.
Yeah. You got to drop your pride. You got to come back and make up faster.
Yeah.
You can't hold on to grudges. You got to let it go and get away from, well, you did this before and you did that. You got to get away from bringing the past stuff up and throwing it in each other's faces.
Yeah.
And then with us too, what's been challenging, what we had to adjust to, and we still have our moments, is I'm a very abstract thinker. Like when we always talk about it with you're like, everything is black and white. You're like, no, everything has to be black and white. It's like, no.
Drives me nuts.
I'm abstract. Everything's not black and white. And you'll ask me a question. You'll be like, okay, is that ready? And I'll be like, yes or no.
That right there, like my head wants to explode right now just hearing you say it. Like I can't take it.
And it's like, why do you get so bent out of shape? And I'm explaining to you yes or no. Yes, it's ready to go, but no, because we can do this to package it better or do that. So it's like, to me, it's like yes or no. Yes, it is, but no, it's not completely the way I'd like it to be.
Anthony, I am literally black and white. Come on now. I need yes or no, not yes and no.
And then also, when I work, I really believe, like I live by EIP.
I know you do.
I live and die by EIP.
I know you do.
And then a lot of things that I would say, like, okay, we're working on this, and you're like, it's not working, it's not, and you're doing it wrong. It's like, no, it's not meant to be right now. If we did everything that we could do, and it's not working, that means that the universe has some other plans for us. I can only do what I can do.
Right.
And you're like, no, I won't accept that. And it's like, no, that's the way it is. So then that caused a conflict. But then what would happen, a lot of the things, it was like not good timing. And the universe would be like, okay, that thing you were working on right here, I just needed you to build this piece of it and leave it alone now, because it's going to come into play a year from now.
Right.
Or 6 months from now, or whatever, which has really benefited us throughout our business.
Yes. You're way better at projections than I am. I want it right now. I want it to be black and white. I want a yes or no answer. I want a deadline. And so you're right. You've helped me to be in more flow when it comes to that stuff. I've helped you create more structure, but we always have to go back to the love at the end of the day. And I think something that we do really well is we know how to turn it off and be a couple again.
Right.
And you have to be able to do that. You can't let the lines get so blurred as business partners that you don't know how to turn it off and bring the love back. And I see a lot of couples that work together. It creates resentment because they're always in business mode. And I know for me, that masculine energy, I could feel when I get in work mode, and my tone changes. I'm like, all right, dial it back, girlfriend, dial it back. This is not your employee. This is your husband.
Right.
And you got to communicate in a more loving way.
Yes. Very true.
So it's fun, but it's also challenging. And I would say the main tips are really get clear on what your strengths are. When you're doing what you love doing, like you said, I'm a great networker. I love people. It's easy for me to network. It's easy for me to do social media because I love interacting with people. I love being organized. I mean, what are we talking about? She likes deadlines. She likes things to be black and white. Yeah, I'm going to follow up. I'm going to follow through. And you love creativity. You love flow. You love music. You love ideas. So, of course, that's your lane, but you've created some amazing ideas, and I've been the structure of those ideas and put the business structure in place and keep it all going. And we're a great team because of that.
And I think a big part of it, too, is to acknowledge each other for what you're good at.
Yes.
And don't make it like because that person does something, their job description is different than yours, to feel like, well, what I'm doing is more valuable than what you're doing.
Right.
You're just doing that work. I'm doing this bigger work.
Right.
And I've seen that with all the couples that we've coached that have got into business together. So
they want to compare.
Yeah. And so even if, for example, the woman is the one that's out in the business world making the moves, but then the husband, he's home taking care of the kids, washing the dishes, making sure the house runs, and then driving Uber, and then doing this and on the side.
Right.
And it's like we had one of our clients a couple weeks ago where she realized, like, wait a minute. He does do all these amazing things. And I just take it for granted because it's like, oh, that's just household stuff. But if he wasn't doing that, she would not be able to run
at the pace
that she needs to run.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. We do have to see the benefits of working with each other and what each other is actually doing, which is why I like the exercise in the beginning when you tell me what I'm doing great at business. And it helps each other to know that I see you. I see what you're doing and I respect it and I appreciate it. We have to communicate that to each other.
So let me ask you this.
Yes.
Do you think that working together has made our relationship stronger, or do you think it hinders it overall?
Honestly, I think there have been moments of both. There have been times in our relationship, being in business together has just made us fight and created some disconnection, but we worked through it and we got back together. And then there's been times where being in business together has just bonded us and just made us so close and connected. So I think it's like all energy. Energy ebbs and flows. It comes and goes. And it just depends on what we're working at and what we're working on within ourselves, where we're at. Where we're at within our own self-love and self-care. Right. That's a huge part of it too.
Another, this just hit me. Another area that was challenging for us was that we have very different approaches.
Yes.
So, for example, I'm a kick down door guy.
Yes, we know.
And then that used to make you feel like, babe, stop it.
Yeah.
You're being too.
You're doing too much.
Yeah, you're doing too much. And it's like, no, this is me. I'm going to the room and I'm going to be me.
Right.
And it was like, no, be smaller. And it was like, I can't be. And
no, you can't be.
It was like the rule breaking thing.
Yeah.
Like I break the rules.
Yes, you do.
And you're the opposite. You follow the rules.
Yes.
And so that was always a challenge too. It was like, how do we balance that?
Another one for me is to not check on you and check over your shoulder. Where you at with that? What you doing with that? Where are we at with that? When's it going to be done? When can I have it? That was a hard one for me. Like, I just was like, you guys know my internal mantra, leave that man alone. Leave that man alone. He's going to tell you when it's done. He already knows you need it. He already knows you're waiting for it. And that's hard for me. I've learned, Anthony, I've learned a lot of patience working with you.
You really have. And I
really have.
And I appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you for making me more patient. If you guys are working together, it's a beautiful thing, but no, it's just like everything else in your life. You're going to have disagreements. You're two different people. You have two different filters. You're actually creating two different realities. So being able to get on the same page takes some effort and it's not always going to feel good. But if you have the common goal of building something great together and you want to make the world a better place because you're contributing something, you can get past it. But it really is loving each other through it, respecting each other through it, it and seeing where each other struggles and not taking that personally.
And if I have to wrap it up in the simplest piece of advice for you couples that are considering working together or maybe already working together, I'm going to go back to go there, you got to grow there.
Yes.
So look at it like this. You're on one level and you're always striving to get to higher levels in your relationship, in your business, in all aspects of your life. How are you going to get to the higher levels? To go there, you got to grow there. To go there, you got to grow there. It's not going to come to you. You have to go to it. So that means you have to change. You have to expand. And so when you have those challenges in your relationship and in your business, they're not there to punish you. They're there to give you the opportunity to grow, to learn something new, to expand, to get out your comfort zone. And then when you're working together as a couple, you're going to push each other out that comfort zone.
Yes.
And that's okay. It's a good thing because you're growing.
Yes, I agree. And also, you're adjusting your money thermostat because obviously if you're in business, you want to do better and better. You want to make more and more money. So even that's going to make you uncomfortable. And you probably have two different money thermostats. Most people don't have the same money thermostat. So there's a lot that takes place, but it really is about giving each other grace and pushing when you need to, but know that it's out of love.
To learn about the thermostat, go through our previous episode, through archives.
You got it.
You got it.
So you got anything else for these people about being in business together?
Not on that note, but on the note of it's the end of the show.
Aww,
time to go.
Time to go.
Time to go. But that was great.
I love you.
You're the
too.
best.
You're the best. I love working with you.
I love working with you.
Even when you get on my nerves and you don't mean deadlines. I love you.
I get on your nerves.
I love you.
On that note, people, if you didn't get a copy of our book, Crack the Code, Secrets to Achieving Your Happily Ever After, pick up a copy today, available at Amazon.com. If you guys want to reach out to us because you want to coach, whether you're single, whether you're a couple, whether you want just life coaching in general, you can reach out to us at theamazingclocks.com. If you are interested in being a life coach or maybe just learning about some new skills that can help you to life coach yourself, then you can check out our training and certification program for life coaches at the Law of Attraction LifeCoachAcademy.com.
Yes.
So on that note, people, thanks for listening. There you go. We gave it to you. Now what you going to do with it?
See you guys next time.